Finally, we're back. It's been a long time coming, but I am finally done with the holiday season. I got all those packages finally delivered, and now there's only one thing left to do. Take a look back and see what we all experienced in this 1 year of weebery. We were feeling pretty good coming out of 2017. We ended the year on a few heavy hitters. And historically speaking, the winter season usually does even better. So our hopes were riding high. Let's see what we got in the winter season of 2018. Devilman Crybaby kicked off the winter season and a winter season triple play by Netflix. The show was only 10 episodes, but they dumped them all at once right at the start of the year and stole the spotlight. There were tons of people already singing the praises of this show, saying that it was going to be anime of the year before any other show had come out. That was probably a little bit overblown, and I think people were just really hyped to get this season started, so let's see how the other two shows in Netflix's library went. Fate Extra Last Encore. The first 3 episodes of this show make absolutely no sense whatsoever, and I was watching this on Rabbit with a group full of Fate fans, and they still couldn't explain to me what the fuck I was watching. Umu Saber is good, but she can't fix this show, sorry. And then finally we have Agretsuko, a Hello Kitty inspired show about a downtrodden office worker who takes out all her frustrations at death metal karaoke. I really like this show, but man, it hits really close to home in a lot of places. Being a 20-something-year-old member of the workforce, yeah, this show definitely knows how to cut right to the bone. But hold the phone, cause that triple play results in a grand slam and Netflix getting a 4th series for the winter season. Violet Evergarden showed us all what anime Oscar bait should look like. A lot of people at first said the show was too slow, that it wasn't going anywhere, but honestly, just give it 3 or 4 episodes to really gear up. I really don't know what people were expecting. I mean, it's a turn of the 20th century period piece about a disabled war veteran trying to figure out what love is by joining the Postal Service. Speed is not this show's game, but man, the payoff down at the end is totally worth it. Darling in the Frings was a much hyped collab between A1 Pictures and Studio Trigger that seemed to be living up to expectations in the first half, but fairly quickly things started to go off the rails, and by the time we got to the final episode, people were pissed. But with me, on the whole, I kinda liked what I got. Overlord 2 was a continuation of an isekai show from 3 years ago. As much as you think the fan base would have died off after that time, they didn't. The hype for this show was real. Pop Team Epic showed us all what anime shitposting should look like if it ever became an anime. It was crazy, bombastic, and I really don't think it needed to go on for 24-minute long episodes. I think a series of shorts that went across the entire year probably would have been better for this show. Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody. With a title like that, this has got to be a light novel adaptation, and it is. Called it. Killing Bites was all the garbage I ever wanted from any anime ever. It knows what its audience wants, and it just gives it to you. This is truly a blessed show. After the Rain, a story about a high school girl and her relationship with an older man, and oh Jesus, don't get weird. Oh yes, it's not weird, thank God. It's just a wonderful platonic relationship between two people who really needed each other, and they just used that to build each other up. It's great, it's perfect, I love it. Citrus. This was a Yuri show that was supposed to take the world by storm. It does have a pretty shocking first episode, but after that it's just a whole lot of diddling around, not really doing anything or moving the plot along if there even is a plot. A place further than the universe, but a bunch of girls who give up on their school life and go on to the unknown and the uncharted wildernesses of Antarctica. Probably not the best life advice. Laid Back Camp continues our trend of cute girls in cold places, and I have to give it up to the showrunners. If you're gonna have a whole lot of anime happening in cold places, at least put it during the winter season. The winter season was alright, it definitely lived up to expectations. There's a little bit there for everybody. So going into the spring season, we were feeling pretty good. We were feeling pretty fine. We were feeling pretty Gucci. Gucci gang. Ah yes, the spring season of 2018. Or as I like to call it, the season of what the fuck even is tone. Let's kick things off with Caligula, a show that in its first 20 minutes introduces psychological horror, mutated zombie students, and Vocaloids. Needless to say, I was very confused. Golden Kamui, a gritty turn of the 20th century period piece about an old war hero trying to find a long lost treasure. The map to this treasure is tattooed on the bodies of old prisoners. So anybody who wants to find this treasure has to skin these men and then put the map together. Yeah, this anime is pretty fucking brutal, except when it doesn't want to be. which is like 50% of the time. There's an awful lot of comedy and slice of lifery going on in here, and a sort of like cooking show vibe in a lot of places when they kill wild animals and then they have to eat them, and the show just gives you these recipes for out in the wild. I don't know, it was weird, man. I don't know what to make of it. Speaking of not knowing what to do with yourself, Tokyo Ghoul Re. Yeah, we've pissed off the show watchers and we've pissed off the manga readers, so let's just try to go half and half and see if we can cobble this thing together, I guess. Uma Musume, Pretty Derby. You got Monster Girls, you got school sports show, slice of life stuff, school idol fuckery, all introduced in the first episode. However, to their credit, they do drop most of these things and just focus on the sports aspect. And the show had a lot of TLC put behind it. A lot more than you would expect from an anime that was essentially created as an elaborate marketing campaign for a damned mobile game. Sword Art Online alternative, Gun Gale Online. You would think that an anime that was basically PUBG the anime, and about a tall, beautiful woman who is self-conscious about her height would be able to capture my attention, but it just doesn't. Sorry. Hinamatsuri gave us some of the greatest, cringiest humor that you could ever see in animation. The slice of life bits were really good. When it wanted to hit you in the feels, it knew just how to do it, but let's face it, you came here for the cringy comedy and you stayed here for the cringy comedy, and damn it was good. My Hero Academia.
I got a pizza delivery here.
Whomst ordered pizza be delivered to our secret lair?
Oh, that was me, dude. I had some Little Caesars delivered.
Little Caesars does not do delivery.
FBI, open up! Oh, shit! Oh, that was some pizza, the motherfucking pop!
Watakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku. It's basically just like Recovery of an MMO Junkie, except the main protag girl never leaves the office. Maho Shoujo Site, magical girls, but what if they were really edgy? Maho Shoujo Ore, magical girls, but what if they were actually manly dudes? Steins Gate Zero showed us what it would be like if you dug up the old bones of an intellectual property that everybody thought was perfect, as it was. And spoiler alert, it was kind of a shit show, not like anybody could see that one coming. And then finally, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, a remake of an absolute anime classic from the 1980s that pretty much nobody's watched, which left you in a bit of a quandary. If you watched this one, then you were a pleb who was watching the remake. If you didn't watch this one, then you were an elitist prick who liked the original. I kinda sorta found a loophole by not watching either. Okay, well the spring season kinda left me scratching my head. I couldn't make heads or tails out of it. But the summertime always has a lot of solid shows in it. So let's gear this thing up, break out the cold beer and the bathing suits, and let's dive head first into the summer season of 2018. Overlord 3. Oh wow, it took them 3 years to make the second season. They're gonna make this next one just immediately after it. Okay, fine. I'm sure it won't have any like big drop in animation or anything. Attack on Titan Season 3. Oh wow, they actually managed to do it. They actually managed to put out 2 seasons in 2 years. I'm actually impressed. But the story at this point is so far out there. If you haven't been keeping like detailed notes after each episode from Season 1 and Season 2, you're gonna be pretty fucking lost. Cells at Work. What was at best an educational show to show little kids about how their cells worked was actually pretty good. It put a smile on my face and I kept watching every episode, so it must have done its job pretty well. Island starts off with the most unnecessarily edgy protag guy I have ever seen in an anime, Angels of Death. Speaking of unnecessarily edgy, Jesus fucking Christ, who would have ever thought that an anime adapted from an RPG Maker game would be this fucking ridiculous? How not to summon a demon lord. Basically like Overlord, just with way more edgy stuff. And way bigger boobs. Dropkick on My Devil showed a lot of promise as a sort of Tom and Jerry comedy show, but it really overstayed its welcome, and by episode 3 we had used up all of our jokes. Asobi Asobase, basically just Nichijou light. If that strikes your fancy still, then give it a shot. Miss Caretaker of Sunohara. This is just child abuse, this is all this is. This is just as tasteless as its promo material made it out to be. Speaking of being tasteless as fuck, how about this one? I want you to make a disgusted face and show me your underwear. That is the literal title of this. Never before have I wanted a 6-part OVA series so much in my life and not known it until I received it. This is my new religion. Banana Fish. Okay, this one put a lot of people off because 1, it has a silly title, 2, it's adapted from a manga that was written back in the 80s, and 3, protag guy was raped at some point and people just kind of like laugh it off in the show. That's really fucked up. But for those happy few that managed to get through all that bullshit, it actually does pretty good down the line. The hard part is just getting invested. Hanebado. A show about badminton that takes itself way too seriously. Honestly, the melodrama in this show is ridiculous. Happy Sugar Life. You know, finally a show I can just relax with. Oh, this is awesome. This is really cathartic. You know what? I needed this and just, oh my god. Oh god. Oh no. The Master of Ragnarok. Hey, you know that one anime about the guy who gets transported to another world, but he can take his cell phone with him that I dropped as soon as I read the fucking title? What if we did that again, but we made the protag guy worse, and we really cut down on the animation while we were at it? Speaking of cutting down animation, how about animation that's just non-existent? Backstreet Girls. About a bunch of Yakuza who get into deep shit with their boss, and the only way they can pay him back is to get sex change operations and become an idol group. It's absolutely hilarious, and it is hard to watch because, dear fucking god, it has no animation whatsoever. Just still shot after still shot after still shot. Harukana Receive. Okay, I'm gonna pitch a show real quick. How about we have thick girls playing volleyball at the beach, and we play the anime during the summer season? How has nobody ever thought of this before? This is just a license to print money. Well, the summer season was disappointing to say the least. It did show some promise, but if you were just going by the 3-episode rule on most of these shows, you were really disappointed. Well, let's go ahead and get ready for fall. We got one last bullet in this gun, and let's fire it off and see what happens. Sword Art Online Alicization, or at least I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Hey, we did the Sword Art Online alternative thing, which breathed a whole lot of new life into the IP. How about we just keep doing that? Or, you know, just bring back the whole cast that everybody's tired of and shits on all the time. We could do that too. Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, dude, this is like level 1.
But seriously, if you can get past that first episode, it really is an interesting character study on a guy that you really just want to see if he can actually slay all the goblins. Although during the middle part of the anime, it seems like the only thing he's slaying is pussy. Fairy Tail, the final series. Yes, it is over. Let's dance upon its grave. Uzumade. Okay, so what if we did Miss Caretaker of Sunohara, but we replaced the Shota boy with a lolly? Somebody call the police right now, please. Anima Yell, a show about cheerleading that not only had one of the most touching moments in anime history about a girl coming out, but also had one of the most savage rejections of the anime season.
I love you! No, thank you!
Rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Talk about a total bait and switch. The Bunny Girl shows up in Scene 1, Episode 1, and is never seen again in the bunny costume. And then you just get a feels trip out of fucking nowhere. I mean, this shit just blindsides you, man. Be prepared. Speaking of being prepared, My Sister, My Rider. Let's take Eromanga Sensei and remove all of the charm, and add in even more trash. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Golden Wind. This is really good thus far, but it seems to be taking the part 4 route of doing things, where they're like, hey, we don't really know where this story's gonna go, and we don't know what we're doing, but we know you're gonna stick around until we do figure it out, so just bear with us. Bloom Into You gave us a Yuri show that was actually good, take that, Citrus. Zombieland Saga, about a bunch of girls who get resurrected into zombies, and now they have to form an idol group. It's crazy, it's wacky, it's fun as hell, and I just now realized that this is an elaborate marketing campaign for the prefecture of Kyushu. No shit, they do full-on product placement in multiple episodes about just random shit that happens in Kyushu. I guess if you're trying to get those tourist bucks, this is the way to do it. I'm definitely going. That time I got reincarnated as Kirby, I mean a slime. He's awesome, he's a slime, he's actually kind of OP, and he's slaying pussy left and right. And then finally, Trigger brought us into this year of anime, and they're gonna see us out with Gridman. If you like those old school Godzilla movies and like Power Ranger type shows, then you're gonna love Gridman. If you don't really care about those things, then you're just gonna be kind of bored. The character designs though are on point. I mean, Rika, she got those thick thighs that can save lives, boy. So that does it. That was the year of 2018 in anime. We had ups, we had downs, we had Netflix getting involved in tons of different projects. We had lots of child abuse and school idol fuckery going on. It was awesome. It was everything that we ever wanted and had never bothered to ask for. Thank you, anime, for being awesome, and we'll see you in 2019. Peace.